As we begin 2024, let's think about a few things that we need to be keeping our eye on when it comes to seeing how the 2024 real estate market will play out. Mortgage rates, 2024 being the year of a presidential election, and then inflation and overall how that is going to have an effect on home values. So we'll do a quick summary of 2023 and how that year ended, and then what these topics mean in relation to what we can expect in the 2024 real estate market. Here we go. So welcome to the channel. I'm a real estate agent and a local here in the Dallas area, and I've been in the real estate game since about 2016. And from that time, I've been able to help over hundreds of families, whether it's looking to purchase a home or sell a home here in the Dallas area with my flat fee real estate listing model. So keeping in touch with some of my past and current clients, a similar question always seems to be coming up, and that is, what can we expect as we move forward into the new year in terms of real estate? So let's start with a quick summary of 2023 and what that looks like as we head into the new year regarding the real estate market. So as I'm sure we all know, 2023 was pretty much dominated and shaped by high interest rates. We peaked out at around 8%, which is insane compared to where we were just a couple of years ago. And due to these rates, we saw a total drop in terms of the amount of transactions that were done compared to previous years. The days on market actually increased in 2023. But in terms of home values, what we saw, contrary to a lot of experts were projecting, is that in 2023, home prices did actually increase overall by about 4%. But with home values increasing, coupled with the higher interest rates, what that does for home affordability and consumer confidence, it definitely takes a huge blow when it comes to those factors of a real estate market. But in a slight glimmer of hope of positive news, what we saw as we rounded out the end of the year, in the December Fed meeting, they did agree to drop the mortgage interest rates down to kind of hovering around 6.8%. So that's definitely a decrease from where we started, hovering around 8%. But that's kind of where things are looking as we head into 2024. So overall, we can sum up 2023 as the year of high interest rates, a big problem in terms of supply and demand and home affordability. So when it comes to 2024, here's the three things that we should be keeping our eye on. Number one, interest rates. So as mentioned before, the Feds did have their last meeting in December of 2023, and kind of the conclusion of those conversations led to what we can expect in terms of mortgage interest rates in 2024. The Feds kind of agreed or projected that we can see at least 3 interest rate cuts throughout the year. Probably the first one coming at the end of Q1, so about March, April, beginning of May. That's when we should expect to see some interest rate cuts. Number two, we need to be on the lookout for how this presidential election is going to shape consumer confidence. So history shows that home appreciation levels always take a slight decrease in a presidential election year. So I've been able to see 2 presidential elections with my time being in real estate, and talking to different buyers and sellers throughout that time, you can't even imagine how many times the same kind of objection would come up. Hey, I don't want to buy or sell until I wait and see what happens with this presidential election. Why? Because it's a big time of uncertainty. There's a lot of division and conversations going on. So overall, when you think about a real estate market during a presidential election year, that times of uncertainty can kind of bring forth some hesitation in home activity when it comes to buying and selling. So that's definitely something to keep our eye on. And the next thing is inflation and overall how that's going to affect home value. So when it comes to inflation, we have all felt its impact with everything being super expensive over the past few years. And at the beginning of 2023, I believe we're at pretty much near an all-time high in terms of inflation rate. We were hovering around 9%. And what did that cause the Feds to do and how they reacted to the market? So of course they started jacking up the interest rates even more. And of course those high interest rates affected the overall activity when it comes to people wanting to go out and purchase things. To of course try to keep that inflation rate down and get it down, that's the cause and effect of what the Feds are trying to do. So going back to last year, the Feds had a kind of target goal of where they want to get the inflation rate at till they feel that the market could be a little bit stabilized. and that target goal was around 2%. And looking at the end of 2023, we didn't hit that goal. We are around currently an inflation rate of around 3%, which is fantastic compared to 9%, but there's still some work to do. But overall, the inflation relationship to interest rates is something that we need to keep an eye on when it comes to buyer activity, seller activity, and overall consumer confidence when it comes to activity in the market and how that's going to affect home prices moving forward in 2024. So given these 3 topics and other things that we're going to be keeping our eye on as we head into the new year, here are some of my opinions and projections as we head into the 2024 real estate market and what that might look like. Number 1, about interest rates, I can expect and hope / predict that will be around the high 5s or low 6s in terms of mortgage rate percentage points. With the Feds already meeting and forecasting for this new year that there are going to be at least 3 interest rate drops, I hope that plays a huge impact in terms of the overall market and consumer confidence in terms of all things real estate. And then when it comes to inflation, I don't know if even a slight drop of the mortgage interest rates is going to be a big enough spark to kind of get the overall inflation rate down to their goal of 2%. Next, I think that home values will increase a bit, even though I mentioned earlier during a presidential election year, statistically speaking, home prices are projected to drop during these election years. But as soon as interest rates start dropping a bit more, especially if we start to get closer to the low 6s, mid 6s, and heck, if we get into the high 5s, all this pent-up demand of home sellers not wanting to list their house and buyers sitting on the sidelines waiting for interest rates to drop, I believe this is going to create a huge spark and surge in terms of home prices, and then which in turn is going to cause the days on market to decline as well. So again, in summary, what we've seen over the past year, high interest rates have created a whole lot of pent-up demand. So as we start seeing the inverse of these mortgage interest rates starting to decrease, we have so many buyers sitting on the sidelines as well as sellers. And look, I hear this all of the time when it comes to people looking to purchase or maybe even sell a home. I'm waiting for home prices to drop before buying, and I'm looking for the interest rates to come down before I start making moves. And then still with the limited amount, small inventory of homes available for sale, they're going to find themselves probably competing against each other too, which is going to take home prices to where we are now. And we might even start seeing a lot more multiple offer scenarios, bidding wars, not to like we were seeing a couple of years ago right after COVID, all that pent-up demand released. But what we saw in 2023, we do have a lot of pent-up demand now that could create a lot of bidding wars in the future, therefore helping to further elevate and increase home prices. So what are your thoughts in terms of what we can expect in this 2024 real estate market? No matter what happens in terms of interest rates, home prices and evaluation, or what's going to occur within the 2024 presidential election and that consumer confidence, there are always going to be people who are out there that need to make moves. So I'll continue to stay on top of this, and I look forward to sharing any of my news, opinions, or updates along the way. So if you're looking to purchase a home and have questions, or if you're considering selling a home here in the Dallas area and want to take advantage of my money savings plan when it comes to my flat fee, full service real estate model, I'll leave my information in the description below, and I would love to help however I can. But until next time, thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all real soon.